Hello students, my name is Alpa Rupala, Assistant Professor from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, Computer Department. Welcome to the lecture series of Mobile Computing and Wireless Communication. Starting with our unit number 3, subtopic Multiplexing and Multiple Access. Topics to be covered in this lecture. We will learn about multiplexing this whole lecture, and then after in the next lecture we will learn about the multiple access. So the topic multiplexing. Now what the multiplexing is, basically in this we are starting the unit number 3. Okay, this particular chapter is very much of important for your mobile computing and wireless communication. In unit number 3, first topic is your multiple access. But this multiplexing concept is from the unit 1. But both the concepts are very much correlated to each other. So we are just taking this topic right now. Okay, to understand the whole fundamental from here, starting from here, you need to have understanding of multiplexing and multiple access. So what is basically multiplexing? When we talk about multiplexing, suppose we are talking about the transmission channel capacity. You are having the transmission channel capacity, but we are not using that capacity effectively, that we know. But in what concern? Suppose I am taking one example that you are coming from your home to your college. Okay, suppose you are coming from your home to your college and approximately you are having 30 kilometer distance. Okay, so you are having car. By car, your transmission medium is what? Car. By car, you are coming from your home to college of 30 kilometer distance alone. Okay, the fuel is being used, your car is being used as a transmission medium. You are coming from same distance, that is 30 kilometer from your home to college. Okay, but the capacity of carrying persons in your car is more than one. You're coming alone, right? But the capacity is of, if I say according to rule, it is of 4 person, right? So 4 person can be traveled in car, but you are using only a single person traveling. Okay, so what you can do, you can share or you can do carpooling. You can have your friends in that particular 30 kilometer distance only. You can pick up them from their place, from their location. Okay, and 4 people or 4 students can reach to your college in the same car. Okay, so same fundamental is over here also. Your transmission channel is having the capacity to carry more than one signal, but we are transferring our signal or sending our signal one user at a one time only. So this is what inefficient way to utilize your available channel capacity. So this fundamental is being carried out by the multiplexing concept. In multiplexing concept, we are carrying multiple signal on a single medium. Okay, multiplexing concept is what? We are carrying multiple signal on a single medium. So the more efficient way it is. Now here look, suppose at the transmitter side we are having the n number of signals and we are having only one single channel, but it is having the capacity to carry n number of signal. So we at the transmitter side first modulate or multiplex our signal into the single signal, and then after we transmit that single signal only, and at receiver side we will demultiplex or demodulate our signal and we will receive the n number of outputs, and that will be sent it to your n number of receivers accordingly. Okay, This whole fundamental example you have already seen in your topic spread spectrum example on DSSS, in which you were having two stations, station A and station B. Both were transmitting at the same time, but we have sent only single signal, that was signal S1, which was the combination of A plus B bar, right? Remembered? A plus B bar. That means we were having two signals, but on transmission channel we were sending only single signal by modulating it or by spreading it. This is the same example. Okay, we are having multiple users or multiple signal, but we are sending only single signal by combining all of them to your transmission channel. So there are basically four type of multiplexing available according to four dimension. Okay, first one is space, second one frequency, third one time, and fourth one code. According to these four dimension, we are having four type of multiplexing. The first one is time division multiplexing, second frequency division multiplexing, third time division multiplexing, and fourth code division multiplexing. So now we are first looking for the space division multiplexing. Now in space division multiplexing, suppose we consider the example of highway. Okay, on a highway you are considering the space division multiplexing as you are having different lanes. Suppose that are what your frequency. Okay, different lanes are what your frequency, and your whole highway is your space. So what we are considering in space division multiplexing, that we are giving single highway to single person for traveling. Okay, single highway to single person for traveling. If the another person wants to travel, then we will provide the different whole highway to different person. Okay, that is the concept of space division multiplexing. But is it sounding something kind of efficient? No, obviously not. Okay, because you are having the frequency, you are having three lane, but for transmission of only a single person, you are giving the whole highway. Okay, whole space with all the time, all the frequency, all the codes available to single person. Okay, so this is not the efficient way. So space division multiplexing technique is not that much being used in real life concept. It is being used, but it can be used with the combination of different another multiplexing technique. So here you can say we are having the four channels, or we can say the four users, user K1, K2, K3, K4, K5 and K6. Okay, but and we are having three different space available with the 24/7 available hold the frequency range and spatial code. We are giving this K1 user this S1 signal or S1 highway, you can say, this K2 to S2 space, this K3 channel to S3 space. So this is known as the space division multiplexing. Now the second type is frequency division multiplexing. Okay, now in our same highway example, what I have told you earlier, that your different lanes is what your frequency. Okay, fast lane, medium speed lanes, and lane and slow speed lane. Okay, what we are doing right now, we are sending your cars on a different lane only. Okay, so whatsoever available frequency we are having, we first of all divide that frequency, and then after we will give a particular frequency to particular person only. Okay, a particular user only. So same fundamental. First of all, we are dividing our available frequency range into parts. Okay, then after we will have some space in this frequency range for interference. Okay, for handling the interference, we will have the some spaces between your frequency range division, that is known as the guard space. Okay, that is known as the guard space. Now the K1 user will have this first frequency F1, K2 user will have F2, K3 will have F3, K4 will have F4, K5 will have F5, and K6 will have F6 with the same guard space. Okay, so that we can handle the interference. So this particular frequency is having advantage that you are not wasting your frequency, but the disadvantage is what? The disadvantage is what? That even though one user is not using this frequency, suppose this frequency, this user is right now idle, but still any another user cannot use this frequency. Okay, even though this particular user is not using this frequency, is not transmitting anything, still but any another user cannot use this available ideal frequency. So again, effective utilization is not there. Now next topic is time division multiplexing. What we are doing, we are just giving a single user whole available frequency band for particular amount of time. Okay, now your whole fundamental is being divided on the time. So what we are doing, we are just giving, as in your highway example, suppose your highway is available, 3 lanes are available, we will give 5 seconds for user 1 to transmit his car, then after another 5 seconds, after 2 second wait to another user, after 2 second wait for 5 seconds to another user, after 2 second wait for 5 seconds for another user with the same speed and same range. Okay, so this fundamental is known as the time division multiplexing. Okay, your whole available frequency range will be available to your user K1 for particular fixed amount of time. Okay, then after some guard time interval, second user will have the whole available frequency range. Then after some fixed time interval, guard time interval, K3 will have the whole available frequency range. This is somewhat, you can say, efficient than the frequency one. Okay, because you can spread your whole signal to whole available bandwidth. Okay, but in frequency your signal will be of narrow band. In frequency FDM your signal will be of narrow band. In TDM the advantage is what? You can spread your signal to whole available bandwidth. Okay, but what is the disadvantage? Disadvantage in TDM is what? The transmitter and receiver needs to synchronize each other. Okay, because at what time which transmitter is sending and what time which receiver needs to be here should be synchronized in very much of proper manner. Okay, so this is the disadvantage in TDM. The synchronization is very much important. So we can say all the techniques is having some of the advantages and some of the regarding disadvantages also. Now last one is code division multiplexing. In code division multiplexing, we are dividing our channel into code fundamental. Now what is code fundamental? In code fundamental, suppose we are assuming that language is the code. Okay. Now whatsoever language is transmitter is using, the same language should be understood by receiver. Kind of example, I am taking the lecture right now, okay, and I am talking in English. So for your understanding purpose, you must have the knowledge of the English. only then you can decode what I am trying to say. Okay, if I were taking lecture in Hindi, then you must understood the Hindi. If I were taking the lecture in Spanish, then you must have the knowledge of Spanish to capture or gather what I am trying to say. Okay, so this is what we are dividing our available frequency and available time to a very different fundamental, that is code. We are converting our signal from one particular type to a separate spatial code fundamental. Okay, how we are doing this? We have already learned this in your example of DSSS. The signal A, the station A was having the chipping sequence, a spatial code. At transmitter side we were using the same chipping sequence, and at receiver side we were using the same chipping sequence. Okay, so transmitter and receiver both were having the same chipping sequence, and we were modulating our signal or spreading our signal. Both are the same fundamental. We are spreading in the form of modulation. Okay, we are modulating the signal by that chipping code only. So what is this fundamental? We are modulating our signal by some spatial code which is understood by your receiver only. So you are using 24/7 your frequency, available frequency for 24/7 time. Okay, for all the user can use this whole available frequency range. You can spread over and you can send anytime. So this is the best, as we have learned earlier. Rather than SDM, FDM and TDM, the CDM is the best one. So nowadays we are using CDM most of the time. This was all about the multiplexing. So the next one is multiple access. Now basically what is the difference between multiplexing and multiple access, right? I have told you earlier that in this chapter you are having multiple access. But for the understanding of multiple access, you need to understand the multiplexing, because when we are talking about, we are using frequency division multiplexing, or we are using code division multiplexing, or we are using time division multiplexing. These all are the techniques which is being used in multiple access itself. Okay, this all are the technique which is being used in multiple access itself. Kind of, we are telling about that the frequency is being divided and it is being given to your user. Okay, different user. But which frequency needs to be divided in what fundamental, and which user will be given what frequency? Okay. That is the main purpose or task of your multiple access. Okay, same as in time division multiplexing, we are giving the time slot to different user. According to it will transmit. Okay, but it is the task of your multiple access to decide that which time slot will be allocated to which user. So ultimately, we are using this multiplexing technique into the multiple access. So there are also 4 kind of multiple access available: frequency division multiple access, time division multiple access, space division multiple access, and code division multiple access. In frequency division, we are using FDM. In time division, we are using TDM. In space division, we are using SDM. And in code division, we are using CDM. So we will learn about the each and every multiple access in detail in next lecture. Okay, we will learn about all the multiple access technique in next lecture. Thank you. We will meet in our next lecture.